Hey Run Junkies, welcome to Runners Without Limits TV. Heart rate, in my estimation, is one of the most accurate data points that tell you what your body is doing and what it needs at any given moment. Even if you don't use heart rate data during your workouts, having that information available might help you adjust your training and help you perform better. Today, we are answering the question, what can you learn from your heart rate right now? As you might know, I consider training by heart rate the best and most accurate data point of an athlete's effort and performance. Your heart rate data won't lie. It might tell you that you're overreaching or not getting enough sleep. So how do you know? Even if you don't train by heart rate, you can get some useful information. And we get that information usually by a device such as this. This has a wrist-mounted heart rate monitor. The more you wear it, the more data throughout the day you will collect. There are other devices similar to this. Something like an Oura ring will gather this information as well. The whole trick to this is to gather data over time, starting with maybe a couple of weeks to get a baseline. You can start with your resting heart rate. What is your average number of resting heart rate across time? And for now, we aren't talking about what is a good number and what is a bad number, just numbers, information, gathering the data. And over time, you can keep track of your resting heart rate as a sign of fatigue, overtraining, or illness. When your resting heart rate starts to trend higher and stays there, that might be a sign that you need a couple days off and that you might need to back off on intensity. If we're getting adequate rest after overtraining, you might see those numbers start to return to baseline again. Now, this is something to be thought of as an average trend over time. So if you have a hard day at work or higher stress than normal for a couple of days, or maybe you're fighting illness, you might see the same result, sort of a higher trend. So keep an eye on the numbers over the course of the long term. You might also find that as you become fitter, your average resting heart rate may trend lower, or that your heart rate returns to normal baseline faster than it used to when you were first starting out. Additionally, if you do train by heart rate, you will likely see faster paces in your training zones. It's just how increased fitness works. Now, I do talk a lot about training by heart rate, but what about the rest of the time when you're not training? Your heart rate can tell you a lot even when you are not exercising. For example, let's say you've been logging the miles, doing the workouts, and you start to notice your heart rate spikes when you go up maybe a flight of stairs, or that your resting heart rate on average is much higher than usual. Now, this is a sign that something is afoot. It could be a few different things. It could be a bunch of things all at once. You might be getting sick. Your body is already under stress to fight off some kind of infection or virus. Or you might be overtraining, which means you feel fatigued overall, workouts feel harder, your sleep is compromised. This is a sign to rest and take some time off. When we work harder, whether that's out on the run, in the gym, or in life, we are stressing our systems. Stress is stress, no matter where it comes from, and our heart rate is where we're gonna see that stress manifest itself. It's not just the spike when we're startled, but that gradual toll that stress takes on our immune system. An elevated heart rate, whether it's during rest, activity, or daily living, especially when it's higher than usual, is a sign to start taking it easy for a little while. The bottom line is that not everyone trains by heart rate, but the data we can get from tracking it throughout the day and from day to day over time can help us tune in to what our bodies need. But what do you think? Do you track your heart rate information over time? If so, what kind of trends do you notice? Please leave thoughts, questions, comments, and suggestions for future videos in the comment section down below. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, you have no limits. Happy running.